Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you. I hope you all are fine. So, how are you all? I welcome you all on the class of business environment, and our subject is micro business environment of BBA second year. We have covered about the various types of environment, factors affecting the business environment, environmental scanning, the sources of environmental scanning. So today we are starting with a very interesting topic entitled economic environment. What is the effect of economic environment on the national and international markets? How the business can develop and make their presence in the international market by studying all the forces of the economic environment. So I would be sharing with you a brief PowerPoint presentation on economic environment. So now let us start with our first topic, that is meaning of economic environment. Now what is economic environment? Economic environment refers to those economic factors which have impact on the working of business, and along with that economic system, economic policies, nature of economy, trade cycles, economic resources, economic legislations. So we can say that economic environment is very complex in nature. It is dynamic also. Why dynamic? Because it keeps on changing with the change in government policies and change in the political situations. So if we talk about our business organization, then the business has economic relations with the government, with the domestic household sector, with the capital market, and with the foreign sector. So thus we can say that economic environment of business has reference to broad characteristics of economic system in which the business operates. These different sectors which I told, like household sector, capital market, and foreign sector, together influence the trends and structure of economy. Now next we are starting with the components and elements of economic environment. Economic environment has 5 main components. These are economic conditions, economic systems, economic policies, global or international economic environment, and economic legislations. Now one by one we would be studying about these factors. First is economic conditions. Economic conditions of the economy affect the economic policies of the business. For example, if there is improvement in the economic conditions, it improves the style of life, the quality of life, the consumption level of the public, and the purchasing power of the public. So we can say that size of market is largely affected by these economic conditions, and these economic conditions have various stages which are covered in business cycles. We would be studying about the business cycles. Here is the diagram which includes various phases: prosperity, boom, decline, depression, recovery. So if you look at the diagram, these are the various stages which are covered according to the level of business activity and time. So if boom conditions are prevailing in the economy, it is called as peak in the diagram, then it positively affects demand and market share. And on the other hand, if the economy is in depression or recession, it will have a negative effect on the business. So these stages of business cycles impact differently the working of the enterprise and the profitability of the business enterprise. So we can say that these conditions mainly include your national income, your per capita income, your demand and supply trends, inflation rate in the economy, industrial growth rate, export rate in the economy, industrial sickness, what is the efficiency of public and private sector units, how primary and secondary markets are growing in the economy, what is the size of market, What is the performance of banking, insurance and telecommunication sectors? How energy generation sector is working in the economy? So all these factors, all these points are covered in these 4 phases of business cycle. That first recovery stage, first prosperity stage, then after that peak stage, then recession, finally depression, and then again recovery. Now next is, second one is economic systems. Economic system here means what are the rules, what are the goals, and what are the incentives that govern economic relationships among people in the society, and it provides a framework for answering the basic economic questions. There are different forms of ownership of means of production, like ownership of private individuals, ownership of government, ownership of both private individuals and government. So the economic system of the country can be divided into various types. First is capitalism. It refers to that economic system in which factors of production are privately owned and profit motive is the guiding principle of all production activities. So in this capitalism system, government does not participate in the economic activities of the country. It is also called free market economy. In this, producers enjoy freedom to enter into an occupation. For example, England, Japan, America are the countries which are following the system of capitalism. So in capitalism, we can say the property is also privately owned and economic decisions are privately taken. Second type is socialism. What is socialism? In socialism, main economic activities are regulated and controlled by government in the interest of public. Socialism is a kind of system in which economic system is controlled by government. Then socialism includes various forms. If it is controlled by the government, it can be further divided into 2 forms: democratic socialism and totalitarian socialism. Under democratic socialism, means of production and other activities are controlled and regulated by government, but at the same time there is freedom of occupation and consumption. Whereas in totalitarian socialism, economy is controlled by government and people have to work under the directions of government. Third one is, we have done capitalism, we have done socialism. Now third is mixed economic system. In mixed economic system, both public as well as private sectors play an active role in the growth and development of economy. So we can say that mixed economic system has characteristics of both capitalism as well as socialism. In mixed economic system, on the one hand there is freedom of economic activities, and on the other hand government also participates in the economic activities. Now next is third one, economic policies. Economic policies are the policies or strategies which are framed by the government. These policies establish relationship between business and government. These policies also grant subsidy, tax holidays, concessions in excise duty, custom duty to one business organization or the other. So we can say that there are various economic policies. I am giving you a brief overview of that. For example, first one is monetary policy. Monetary policy is the policy of RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of the country, and it refers to that policy in which your RBI controls first supply of money, second cost of money, and it is done to achieve particular objectives. Supply of money, cost of money, and availability of money also. Thus, monetary policy of India helps in regulating the availability and cost of credit in such a way to influence the aggregate demand in the economy. Second policy is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is the income and expenditure policy of the government. It is the budgetary policy, we can say. It is of great importance for both developed as well as developing countries. So in fiscal policy, the government economic policy deals with your taxation issues, your government expenditures, your borrowings, deficit financing, and management of public debts in the economy. There is one more policy, that is foreign trade policy. It is also called as commercial policy, or we can say export import policy. It also affects various business organizations in different ways. For example, if there is restrictive import policy, then what does it means? That it is a policy of protecting the domestic industry from foreign competition, and vice versa we can say. On the other hand, if we can say that there is liberal import policy, then we will have benefit to import raw material also, to import capital goods also. So such type of policies, foreign trade policies, give incentives to exports in the form of export subsidies, or we can say concessional loans, tax benefits are given to various business organizations. So Indian government adopts both liberal and growth oriented policy, sometimes stringent policy also, depending upon the market scenario. Next is industrial policy. This is the policy which is also called as progressive policy, which is decided, in which guidelines are decided according to the government of India. In industrial policy, first policy that came into existence was when economic reforms were introduced in the economy, that is LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. In this policy, government adopted the policy of laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means that there is non-interference policy. There is non-interference in the affairs of industries, and industrial development was left to the exclusive care of the private sector. But in this laissez-faire policy, government has been taking active interest in the development of industries. So this was all about your economic policies. Now next is international economic environment, which is also called as global environment. So in order to increase the volume of foreign trade, to encourage competition, to encourage MNCs to develop their organizations, foreign investment, then along with it foreign market share, the role of international economic environment has increased manifold. So if the business unit is indulged in international trade, then it is not only governs your economic environment, but it also helps in importing and exporting of goods and services in a free way in the economy. For example, we can say that your World Trade Organizations, your IMF, International Monetary Fund, your World Bank, and regional blocs like SAARC, Asian countries, these are the organizations which are following the concept of international economic environment. Moreover, there are various international organizations, as I discussed, which focus on various guidelines with various rules, various regulations for regulating the international trade. Next is your economic legislations. Now government has also framed various legislations which regulate and control the business. It includes your Industrial Disputes Act 1947, Factories Act 1948, Industries Development and Regulation Act 1951, Companies Act 1956, Consumer Protection Act 1986, Depositories Act 1996, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, Securities and Exchange Board of India Guidelines, Competition Act 2002, Banking Regulation Act 1949. So these are the various acts which are framed and which are covered in these economic legislations. Thus, economic environment largely influences various business units. Nowadays, almost business units study economic environment and adjust their policies and strategies according to the various components of economic environment. So these were all details about the components and elements of economic environment. Now, Economic system we have covered. Now next is economic policies we have covered. Monetary policy, fiscal policy, foreign trade policy, foreign investment policy and industrial policy. Now last is significance or need of economic environment. Why we are studying the economic environment? So first point is to frame the policies. Every organization has to frame certain rules, certain strategies, certain regulations to run their system in an efficient manner. So we study the economic environment so that the organizations can frame their policies and strategies in a proper manner, because environment is uncertain and it is very necessary to plan in advance that what the organizations will be going to do in the future. Second is to analyze competitors. Now it is very important when you are formulating the policies or you are studying the economic environment, you need to be clear about the competitors' strategies and formulate counter measures, that what competitors are actually doing in the market, what are their strategies, what type of products and services they would be going to launch in the market, and how you would be dealing in the market with your products and services, and how you would be making your brand presence and likewise facing the competition and increasing your goodwill in the market. Third point is decision making. So economic environment also helps in providing the inputs for decision making. Decision making means that you are having various alternatives and you have to choose the best alternative out of it. So when we are having choice with us, then decision making becomes very, you can say, easy for us, because out of the various alternatives available we have to choose the best one. So you can take the expert opinion here, or you can have your board of studies meeting, you can take the suggestions of your top management, board of directors, you can take the suggestions of your employees, and then likewise you can decide that what type of policy or what type of decision you require for facing the economic environment. Next is marketing conditions. As I told, marketing conditions here means there are situations of boom, recession, depression in the economy. So we are studying the economic environment so that we can have a clarity of various market conditions, and we can have courage, confidence, resources and inputs to study and face those market conditions. Next is to find the strengths of the business. It is very important that the organizations know that what are their strengths as well as what are their weaknesses, because these strengths and weaknesses are within the organizations, are in the control of the business. So when you are studying your strengths are your resources, what type of human factor you are having in the organization, how the labor and management they deal with each other, what is your financial strength, your company is financially sound or not in the market. So these are your strengths. So these strengths are within the environment and they are controllable. You can increase your capabilities, you can increase your potential by polishing your strengths. And if there are any weaknesses and loopholes in the organization, like there are certain conflicts going on in the organization, workers are not satisfied with the working of the organization, or workers are having certain salary or wages issues in the organizations, or workers are feeling hesitate to share their problems with the higher authorities. So these are certain weaknesses which require team effort, group effort and coordination in the organization. So if you study the economic environment and you keep your strengths and weaknesses, focus on your strengths and weaknesses, then you can better assess your resources. And likewise there are certain threats also. Threats like I discussed about the competitors, what competitors are doing, how foreign competition is affecting you, how government policies are affecting the organization. So these threats, the study of these threats is also very important. So overall we can say that this is the SWOT analysis. That significance of economic environment is that the organizations, they need to be clear about the SWOT analysis. S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities and T stands for threats. In this, S and W are within the control of the organization because they are present within the organization, and O and T are outside the business. These are uncontrollable factors. Opportunities, suddenly opportunities arises and suddenly the threats arises in the from outside environment. So you need to be very smart, very confident. The organizations, they need to be very much you can say, strong enough to study the SWOT analysis and to face the challenges of the economic environment. So this was all which we have covered in the economic environment. I hope you all have understood about all the concepts which we have covered about the economic environment, because economic environment is, you can say, a very important part of macro business environment. If you don't study your economic environment, then you are not able to get an idea and knowledge about your general economy. What is going on in your economy? What are the market trends? What is the GDP growth rate? How your economy is working? How it is affecting your national market? How it is affecting your international market? So we require the study of these factors. So I hope you all have understood and grasped all the concepts. So that was all from my side. Thank you.